Let's go. Welcome in, everyone. Come in, sit down, get comfortable. I am your host, Jamal, and I am one half of the Professional Amateurs podcast, but we're not on that today. Today, we're talking about Duke basketball. As I just stated, I'm one half of the Professional Amateurs podcast. It's a podcast I do with my guy, Courtney. We discuss all areas of basketball, NBA, WNBA, college, high school, street ball, your grandma playing in the yard, whatever. We talk about it. If there's anything basketball related, we talk about it. I honestly felt like we didn't discuss Duke enough. As you can see, I got 3 of my kids behind me. I'm missing one of my kids, which is the LA Rams, but Duke is my favorite child. As you can see, they on a standalone if I can get the area. They on a standalone by themselves. So Duke is my favorite child. They're over there by themselves for a reason, because they are my favorite child. And because they are my favorite child, I want to talk about them all the time. I want to read Duke content. I want to watch Duke content. I want to consume Duke content a lot, as much as I possibly can, and it's just not enough for me. So you know what I said? F it. Create your own Duke content. So which is the purpose of me starting this? I've been a Duke fan since I was 7 years old, guys. I'm 41, and I am overly fanatical. I'm one of those fans that like sit a certain way when the game is on. If we hit 3 shots in a row, I won't move. Even crazier, I'm one of those fans that's like, I'll calculate how many games we need to win the national championship. And if it's like we have to win 36 games in order to win a national championship, I'm watching every game with the volume up to 36. Like, I'm that fanatical of a Duke fan. So wanted to create enough space. I love all the Duke content that I consume. I love all the podcasts, 5 Point Play. Love those guys. Love DBR, Jason and Donald. Shout out to those guys. I love, of course, the Brotherhood podcast. I love Locked On. It's just not enough. It's not enough for me. I feel like as big a brand as Duke basketball is, it should be like 60 different podcasts for Duke basketball. So I'm giving y'all another one. Like and subscribe to content. Also go and like and subscribe to content for the Professional Amateurs podcast that I stated earlier, the one that me and my man Courtney do. But onto the Duke Blue Devils. Now, if y'all like me, you're still a little upset with how the season ended. As much as I try to act like it doesn't bother me, it does. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to start this show. I needed a safe space. I just needed a safe space to come and vent and talk. And even if it's not that, like the positivity, I like to argue with opposing fan bases. It's a true story. It's a little fun fact about me. I got into hate watching somewhere around COVID. I don't even know how it started, but I get a kick out of watching the opposing team's podcast. If Duke is playing a big opponent, I will watch a couple of different podcasts centered around that opposing team, especially after the game, especially if we win. I just like, something about me loves to see like other fan bases miserable, especially when it's something that Duke did to make them miserable. Love it, love it, love it. And I know I ain't the same. I know I'm not alone in that sentiment. I know I'm not the only person that feels like that. I know I'm not the only person that hate watches or that likes to hate watch, especially the Tar Heels. I love to hate watch those guys. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. Give opposing fans a place to come and hate watch. Leave your comments, talk your junk. I might be in the comments talking junk back and forth. I probably will be, because it gets real. Like I said, it's my favorite child. This is my favorite child. Don't play with my favorite child. Don't play with none of my kids, but especially my favorite one. You say the wrong thing about Duke, it might turn into something for real. So last year had me down in the dumps with the way the season ended. I felt like last year, the main thing, this is, of course, you're going to be upset when your favorite team loses. The main thing that had me like, oh, my life is over. And if y'all can hear talking to my wife thinks that I'm crazy because I take some of these losses way too hard. 25, I was like depressed. 25, 22, 19, 11, 99. I might do an episode about the ones that got away, where we fully like take a deep dive into the ones that got away. I'm gonna call that episode the ones that got away. Oh, those particular years, like anytime your team doesn't win a championship, like I said, it's hard. It's hard on you. And championships are hard. I'm 41. And I've seen maybe about 10 teams that I like in my entire lifetime that I was like, okay, this team is like literally like, All right, they should be the champs. Probably a little bit more than that. What the hell am I talking about? Every team that I look at that Duke put on the floor, I think that they got a chance to win the championship. Even if I'm being completely delusional like I was in 2016 or 2020. No, 2021, 2019. The year before or the year after COVID, 2021, before Apollo and them came. I was really delusional about that team too. And I'm pretty sure some of y'all was as well, but excuse me, take a sip of water. I heard somewhere somebody said that if you take a sip of water, I say on John Rothstein's show, they said if you take a sip of water while you're drinking, like you're not professional or something, like don't drink your water while you're recording, whatever, bro. I'm gonna sip my water, my mouth get dry, I'm gonna sip it. All right, so excited about the team that we got coming in because I was really down, like I said, about how last year ended because I felt like that team was the best team that I had seen in my lifetime. It rivaled 99. And my whole line of thinking was if we have a team that's this good and they don't win the championship, when the hell are we gonna win another championship? Like, how can we do it if we're not gonna do it with this team? Cooper Flag, Kamon Malawatch, Con Knipple, Tyrese Proctor, the entire starting five, which is crazy. Entire starting five got drafted. How do you not win a national championship when your entire starting five gets drafted? I blows my mind. So I got down in the dumps, like really down in the dumps. Like my wife had to shake me out of it. Like, this is not your real life. This is a basketball team. This is stupid. Your family needs you. And I literally did not come out of my room after the game on Saturday. I had to go straight to work. I didn't leave the entire room all Sunday. Most of the day on Monday, I didn't leave the room. Just trying to go to work. What you want to know? What got me out of my funk? For whatever reason, because I was like, man, I'm not watching this national championship game. I refuse. I turned to the national championship game. I had looked at the score one time, and then I saw that Houston was up by a lot, and it just irked me. Looked at the score a little bit later, and then I saw like the game was a little close, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn to it. I actually turned to the game and watching Houston collapse down the stretch of that game, similar to the way we did, got me over it. It literally got me over it. I can't explain it. I just same way, just kind of like in 22, I was down in the dumps. Watching North Carolina collapse got me. Oh, I was over it after I watched them collapse in the championship game. That was rich, by the way. To see them go down the way they did, love to see that. But all right, so once that happened to Duke and I saw what happened to Houston, I kind of was like, all right, cool. Got out my little funk and now, all right, boom, now we can proceed. Then I started to really think about, all right, next year, because I knew what the rosters was going to look like for the most part. I knew the recruits we had coming in. Didn't know about Landon Dame Sar, which he wasn't even on the radar at the time, but I knew Cam Boozer was the goods. I watched him play all through high school. I'm a really big high school sports fan, is high school basketball fan in particular. So I've seen Cam and Caden play. I can't even count how many times I watched them play. I watched all of the recruits that we had play in high school. I'm one of those guys that if I find out you're on Duke's radar, and I'm not, it's not even just exclusive to Duke, because like I said, I'm a high school basketball fan. But once I find out the guys that Duke is recruiting, I will literally go hunt out 4 games. I got an NFHS network account specifically for Isaiah Evans because I wanted to watch his playoff run his senior year. North Mech, and I be saying this a lot. I'm going to say this about Isaiah Evans. He's one of the reasons why I'm extremely excited about this 2016. I feel like we're going to get North Mech Isaiah Evans, y'all. And if y'all do not know anything about North Mech, I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Just to go ahead and throw that out there for people that don't know me. So I'm familiar with the Tar Heel State basketball scene, the Hoop State basketball scene. I refuse to. I mean, first of all, we need to submit something to get that officially changed from the Tar Heel State to the Hoop State. Because what the hell? Like, really, what the hell? But so Isaiah Evans in high school was a cheat code, absolute cheat code. I remember the game against Myers Park when North Mech played Myers Park. I think it was Sweet 16. It might have been, yeah, I think it was Sweet 16 in the state playoffs. And North Mech wasn't ranked. Myers Park was like 15th in the country Like they were that good, and they were the defending state champs. And Isaiah gave him a 60 ball, just like lit them up, and I like literally got an NFHS account specifically to go back and watch that playoff run for Isaiah Evans, and I kept it. So I watched a lot of high school basketball. So I was very familiar with Cam. I was very familiar with Caden. I was somewhat familiar with Nick Hamenia. I got one of those things where I just like regular fans where you think every year is your year. My wife said, you say this every time. I'm like, yo, we're gonna win the national championship there. This is what you say every year. You say that about every team. But I honestly think this 2016 is gonna be better than 24-25. And I know that seems kind of crazy considering the season that 24-25 had, finishing the season with only 4 losses, 19-1 in the ACC. Trip to the Final Four. Like, seems kind of daunting. It seems kind of like, whoa, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. How you gonna say a team is gonna be better than that? Because like I said, my sentiments after the Houston loss was, how are we going to replicate this? I don't know if we can be this good. Like, you watch a lot of basketball, you realize that you don't have, like, even if you have a storied program, special teams don't happen often, bro. They just don't. And we had a special team last year. But I got to thinking, I think this team that we got this year is special. Just as special and could be even more special. One of the things about last year, when I went to the very first preseason game in person. I watched the Lincoln game, and I just kind of had to see, because I'm one of those, I'm a feel guy. Like, what you gonna get from me on this podcast is feels. I'm all about the feels. I might throw stat or two out there, you know what I mean, just to drive home a point or something. But I'm not a big numbers guy. I played basketball in college. I play basketball as an old man that still think I got it. So I feel the game. I feel the game more than anything. So I wanted to watch that team. And one of the first things that jumped off the page when I watched them play against Lincoln last year in the preseason was, this team is going to be elite defensively. I'm not sure offensively I think they can be good. I'm not sure they're going to be great, but I know they're going to be great defensively. This particular team that's coming up 25-26, I think is going to be elite offensively. I'm not sure about what they're going to do on the defensive end, which is one of the things that concerns me. The main thing that I'm excited about this team, I'll start with that. The things that I'm excited about. And y'all let me know in the comments if y'all share some of these sentiments. But of course, the positional size, everybody is at least 6'5", including the guards. Again, that is a huge, which I don't think we realize as Duke fans how big of a cheat code that is until we actually saw it last year. And it's just like, yeah, Mark Sears is good, but constantly having a 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" guy chase you around all day nullifies you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff. Yeah, RJ Davis is good, but when you're 6'1", it's not but so much you can do when you got a 6'7" guard guarding you. Like, that's just what it is. So the positional size, I love the positional size. I love our depth at the wing and at the guard position. I feel like we all know the roster with what we lost. We're losing Cooper, losing Kaman, losing Khan, losing Tyrese. Shout out to all of those guys. Who am I missing? Cooper, Khan, Tyrese, Kaman. I'm missing one more. I'm drawing a blank. It'll come back to me. But with everything that we lost last year, everything that we retained might be equally or just might be the most important thing to, like, as far as the trajectory that this team can go on. I feel like this team is a national championship caliber team. As I was saying before, I think this team will be elite offensively, has the potential to be elite defensively. But specifically, what I'm excited about is the interchangeable pieces on offense. Like, as dominant as Kaman Malawach was, it's a gift and a curse with this thing, right? Because as I stated, I'm not sure. I think this team can be good defensively. I don't know if they'll be great, but they have the potential to be great. The reason why I don't know if they'll be great because the element that Kaman Malawach brought to the team from a rim protection standpoint, not even just a shot blocking standpoint, flat out just deterring other guards, players from even wanting to take shots in the paint. Like I literally watched. When I say like I'm about field, like I literally watch guards who are elite at getting into the paint, scoring in the paint, scoring in the middle of traffic, navigating through traffic. See, come on and say, psych, I don't want this shot. Steve Nash dribbled that thing right back out. Swing, swing, swing. We ain't taking this one. He deterred people from wanting to even take shots at the rim. Not even just the shot blocking aspect. I'm not even sure. Like I said, I'm not a big numbers guy. I don't even think he blocked a block and a half a game. I could be wrong. I'm gonna look it up while I'm talking to y'all. But it's not even just the amount of shots he blocks, it's the amount of shots that he keeps people from wanting to take. That's the main thing. So I'm not sure if I think from a positional size standpoint or from a size standpoint, Pat is good enough to man the paint defensively. Now I'm not sure if he is the rim protector that Kaman is from an intimidation standpoint. Now, from a shot blocking standpoint, I'm willing to bet some money. Pat's gonna average the same amount of block shots that Kaman Malawach had, which I'm about to look it up right now. I'm saying, I think Pat can average the same amount of block shots that Kaman had, but he won't have the same impact and the same intimidation factor. He just won't. People were scared of Kaman. I watched it, and then I watched the same guys not be scared of Pat when Pat was on the floor. Like it's just a different feel. So that right there is one of the things I'm concerned about. Though one of the other things that I'm mainly concerned about this team, speaking of Pat, is the front court depth. And we already kind of seeing it right now. Report practice just started this week. This is the last week. I'm bringing you this broadcast on September 26th. We've already heard a report first week of practice. That Malik Brown coming off the shoulder surgery injury that he had, or the injury that he had at the end of last year, we had to have surgery for. Is now just had another procedure on his knee, which they saying that it's not serious. He'll be ready by the start of the season, which is okay, cool. But it's just like, not what I want to hear. Not what I want to hear to start the season. So the front court depth, I feel like as good as Pat is going to be offensively, Pat is very, very foul prone. What do we do if we are in a situation and Pat gets 3 quick ones and Malik is already like fighting injuries? Could be kind of problematic. That's the only thing I'm really worried about. I'm not gonna lie. But offensively, Pat giving me to show y'all something, man. Like I watched Pat play in high school. Pat got the stretch ability, which I know is just like a lot of people think like, well, what you do on one level might not translate. It'll translate. Pat is getting ready. Pat is about to be one of the more pleasant surprises in college basketball, I believe. Pat has the ability to stretch. He's an elite passer / playmaker, which I think you saw glimpses of that last year, but I believe in this offense this year with the way the offense is ran, you'll see a lot more of that. So I think that what Kaman bought on the defensive end, Pat doesn't have. But on the flip side of that, what Kaman did offensively, Pat is getting ready to leap. He is 10 times better offensively than Kaman Malawach was, and that might be underselling it. Pat is elite offensively, man. And I'm excited for people to be able to see the real Pat Gama. I'm just praying for health. We know he had injury concerns at the beginning of last year, even in high school. We know Malik Brown had injury concerns last year. We was all holding our breath and thanking God when he came back for the UNC games, and then holding our breath again. And it's just like front court, man. The front court kind of gives me cause for pause, but all right. I don't want to sound blasphemous, y'all. I know Duke fans can get spoiled, and we just had one of the greatest in my lifetime 10, 15 college basketball. And I'm trying to be modest with my like rankings here. 10, 15 greatest college basketball players to ever play come through Duke, or greatest college basketball seasons, I should say, because it's kind of hard to be greatest college basketball player with just one year of body of work on your resume. But as good as Cooper Flag was for Duke, I don't understand why Cam Boozer's not getting like the same type of pub Coop got, AJ DeBonza's getting, Darren Peterson's getting. It's kind of like he is the best player I've ever seen fly under the radar. I've never seen a potential number one pick fly under the radar. Like, think about this type of stuff, bro. He's really flying like he's really an underrated number one pick, potentially. I think Cam Boozer could be just as good for the Duke team. Now, it's things that they do different, of course. Defensively, Cooper's a juggernaut. I don't think Cam is a juggernaut defensively. I think he's serviceable. Borderline elite, really, really good. Rebounding is apples to apples to oranges, apples to grapes, whatever fruit you want to compare. That's similar. Rebounding is similar. Playmaking is the biggest thing that I'm excited about Cam Boozer. He is an elite playmaker. And that's one of the things I was telling Coop or people about Coop last year that didn't watch Coop, and everybody wanted to focus on his lack of scoring, his inability to score, which is weird because it was like 20 a night, almost right around 20 a night in college basketball. That's the equivalent of 25 a night in the NBA. So scored it pretty fine to me. But everybody wanted to focus on that. I think Cameron Boozer is better offense. Let's put it this way. The questions people had about Cooper Flag coming into last year, you won't have those same questions about Cam Boozer. You won't have them. Cam can stretch. Cam is elite in the post. Great footwork. Strong as an ox. He got his daddy's strength. Believe that. Not as big as his pops. Pops was about 270, 275-ish. I think Cam is around 250, 255-ish. But got his pop strength. Like I said, an elite playmaker, can stretch it, can play up, play down on defense. Really, really excited. Now, one of the biggest wild cards on this team could be Dame Sarr. I'm excited to see what he brings. My main thing about Dame Sarr is this is what I'm looking for Dame Sarr. And I think like it could be one of those guys where if Dame can have a season where he doesn't even average double figures and could still be an elite player, sort of like what Sion James was. That's my question for this team. Who's going to play the Sion James role? Like, who's going to be the guy that is completely selfless, does everything that the team needs defensively, dirty work, sets the table, not necessarily sets the table for everyone as far as playmaking, but sets the table, sets the tone for how the team is going to play. The selfless guy, the guy that knows I could do this, and that, this, and that at another university with more opportunities or touches. But I'm going to choose to play the role here and be on a potential great championship winning team. That was key. I don't think we even knew. Nobody coming into last season expected Sion to have the impact that he had. If you said you did, you're lying. No one did. No one expected Sion to have that type of an impact. So I'm interested to see which guy has that impact. And that's why I said Dame Sarr could be one of the wild cards. I think he is the guy that could have that impact. Now, one of the other things I'm excited about, I spoke about potentially getting North Met. Slim. I spoke about Cam Boozer. Spoke about Dame Sarr. One of the other things that I'm excited about is Darren Harris. The emergence of Darren Stephen Curry Harris. And yeah, I'm blasphemous. I said it. I said it in high school when I watched him play at PVI. He just reminded me of Stephen Curry at Davidson. Like, and I realize that sounds a little sacrilegious or like blasphemous because we know the finished product, Stephen Curry. But walk with me now, y'all. Walk with me. I'm talking about 08 stuff, 07 stuff. Like that particular Steph Curry was good, and he carried his team based off of how good he was offensively, particularly shooting the ball, catch and shoot situation, shooting off the dribble. Darren Harris is not shifty. He's not super quick. He's not super athletic. Similar to what Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is very shifty. I'll take that back. But not super athletic. Not going to wow you with his athleticism. Not going to wow you with his physical tools. It's just skill work, man. And the ready, bro. Let me tell you this, kids. If you can shoot the basketball, that will cover up a lot of mistakes. And that kid can flat out shoot it. Flat out shoot it. I'm excited to see the emergence of this year's version of Darren Harris. So one of the other things that I'm excited about, and then I'll close on this because I'm not going to talk y'all head off. This is just the introductory episode, and the very next episode, I'll be breaking down the schedule. We'll talk about the schedule and some of the big games and what we're looking forward to the most, what I'm looking forward to the most. And I advise y'all, employ y'all to leave y'all comments. Let me know how you feel about this team. Let me know how I feel about the schedule, and we'll get into that. But last thing I want to touch on before I get out of here. The thing that excites me and it scares me, one of the things that excites me is also the thing that scares me the most, I should say that, about this team, or that I'm concerned about the most. And that is Caleb Foster. Now, even if you're not a Duke fan, if you're just a sports fan, if you're just a fan of people, humanity, I care about people. I care about people dusting themselves off and being resilient and fighting and reaching the pinnacle after it seemed like they weren't going to do it. How could you not love this Caleb Foster story? How can you not be rooting for Caleb Foster? Like, seriously. Kid had every opportunity in the world, every reason in the world to turn his back on Duke, say, I don't like how it's going here. And you just recruited another top point guard over me? No. I'm transferring to Coastal Carolina. I'm transferring to wherever I can go, somewhere in the SoCon where I know coach going to give me 35 minutes, 20 shots a night. And he said, no, I'm going to fight it out here. I'm going to show y'all what I'm made of. I'm really excited about that. But you want to know what also concerns me about that? My number one concern for this team, and y'all let me know in the comments, if any of y'all have thought about this or if any of y'all have felt this way, or like if this thought, because I can't be the only person that this thought has crossed their mind, but it's kind of like consuming me now. And I really can't wait to see how everything unfolds. But the number one thing that concerns me is I am concerned that for this team, 25-26, to reach the heights that 25 or 24-25 didn't, which is win those last two games in April. For this team to reach that height, Caden Boozer is going to have to replace Caleb Foster at the point guard. Sucks, right? It sucks. I don't want that to happen. I know some of y'all don't want that to happen. Bro, I'm rooting so hard. I want nothing more than for Caleb Foster to come out and just light this world on fire, bro. First team All ACC, honorable mention, or in the conversation for All American. Like, throw your name and have your name considered as like one of the top draft picks, or like increase your draft stock. I want his play to be off the charts this season. I'm just concerned that I know as much as Caleb is impersonating Sion James this offseason and adding 35 pounds of muscle, and everything is improving, the mindset's improving, and all of that. I see all of that, and I get all of that, and I'm excited. I know what Caleb Foster is as a basketball player. You are who you are, and that's Caleb Foster is not a true point guard. He's not. That doesn't mean he's not a good player. That doesn't mean he's not serviceable. That doesn't mean he can't help this roster or any other roster, because he has a lot of tools that can help this and any other roster. He's just not a pure point guard. But you know who is? Caden Boozer. Yep. And Caden Boozer is on the continental trajectory right now. Y'all, I'm not sure if y'all have been paying attention, but early in the summer, you look at mock drafts, as soon as the season ended, you look at mock drafts, Cameron Boozer, top 5 on all of them, depending on who you're looking at, top 2 or 3, most of them. Caden on none of them. No, I mean nowhere on none of the draft boards. I'm starting to see draft boards now that's got Caden Boozer as a potential lottery pick. It's happening already, y'all. It's happening. Kid is a lot better than what people give credit for, and I think he's going to play with a chip, because He's kind of like Rick to Scott Steiner. I heard Courtney said that on the show the other day. Whichever one of the Steiner brothers is, Brett to Owen, whoever, Eli to Peyton. Wait a minute. I don't even know who the weaker brother is in that one, but he's starting. I'm thinking that he's gonna operate under the premise that, oh, y'all must think I'm like the trash brother. Okay. He showed y'all in Chipotle Nationals. As good as Cameron Boozer was, now y'all can go back and YouTube this stuff if y'all want to. They got full games, so you can watch these kids. He was the one that hit the game winning in the semifinals to get his team there. You know, he was the leading scorer in a couple of those games at Chipotle. Like Caden got a lot of chops, bro, and now he's starting to get on the NBA radar. I'm just saying. I'm really concerned, man. I want nothing but for Caleb Foster to thrive and this team to thrive with Caleb Foster as the helm because he deserves it after what he went through last year and after like making the decision to stick with it. I want to see him rewarded. But I'm concerned that the best opportunity for this team to win a national championship is to put a pure point guard in that lineup with the rest of those shooters. Now, a lot of people got different thoughts about the lineups. Me personally, if I'm running the lineup, if I'm running the team and I'm in control of the lineups, I'm gonna start Caleb because I've seen it done. I saw us win the national championship in 2015 with 2 point guards. I saw us win a national championship in 2001 with 2 point guards. So it's possible. It can be done, especially if one of them is good enough at shooting off the dribble, which I think Caleb is. Caleb is he could potentially be an elite 3-point shooter. It looks good. He's one of those guys that when he shoot, form looks amazing. It's just that, the numbers haven't always supported the way that the form looks, but his form looks amazing. So I feel like the starting lineup should be Caleb, Caden at the 1, Caleb at the 2, Isaiah at the 3, Cameron at the 4, Pat Gamba at the 5. I'm not sure if that's going to be the starting lineup, but it could also go what I'm thinking that's the lineup I would kind of roll out with to start the season. Just as little, just these are the starters. But my lineup that I think is the game changer, like Duke's quote unquote death lineup, is Caden Boozer starting at the 1, Isaiah Evans at the 2, Dame Sarr at the 3, Cameron Boozer at the 4, Pat Gamba at the 5. I think that's Duke's best lineup. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are throwing lineups around and different scenarios, and we all debating on what's the best lineup and what's this and that. I think that's particularly the best lineup, and I'm worried that that's the lineup we're gonna have to play. Even though Caleb has already showed that if you need me to take a back seat, I'll do that. Man, I really don't want that for that kid, bro. I really don't. I really want that kid to hit the ground running and stay running. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna wrap it up, man. I don't want to get off the rambling. I will be coming back to y'all within about a week or so. Most of these shows that I do for the Brotherhood Breakdown will be sending around post-game content because, like I said, I like to hate watch. I want to give people an avenue where you can hate watch, you can come and love watch, you can come leave comments, let's talk, let's joke, let's have fun. I'll be having guests on game nights for the most part. But other than that, it'll usually just be me by myself because I got us. I got us, dude. I got us. I'm all we need. Not really, but in the sense of this podcast thing. So, very first episode for the Brotherhood Breakdown. We just our first lap around the podcast, son. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the content. We'll be coming at you more often. Thank everybody for watching. Catch next